Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video I'm going to be letting you guys know which stat build you guys should use inside of Arcane Odyssey. If you're just starting out, you want to make a new build on your account, I'm going to go over every single build and go over what you guys should be going for depending on how you want to play the game. And without further ado, let's get right into it. Yo guys, just before we start the video, over 50% of you guys are not subscribed, so if you guys could go ahead and check if you guys are subscribed and hit that sub button, that would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, back to the video. So in Arcane Odyssey, there's 4 different types of builds: vitality-based builds, magic-based builds, strength-based builds, and weapon-based builds. You can achieve these builds by going for different types of stat points. So as you guys can see right here, I'm going to print this Conjurer. That is because I have 60% into weapons or magic. I went with 130 weapons, I was trying to go for 120 magic. So when the stat reset potions come out, I'll definitely go for 120 magic. But this is important because it does determine your awakening. If I go down right here, I can see that my awakening is Conjurer's Focus. After visiting Mount Orthrus to seek out the voice of Poseidon, you had your first awakening, learn how to imbue your magic into different weapon skills. So basically, this is my awakening, and this is very important if you want to actually progress in this game, and it's actually a very important part of your build. Now I'm going to go over every single build and what stat points you get with that build. So for the vitality based builds, you get Warden, which is full vitality, which basically means over 60%. You got Paladin, which is vitality and magic, 40% or higher of each. Juggernaut vitality and strength, which is 40% or higher of each. Knight, which is vitality weapons, 40% or higher of each. Seventh is mixed stats, 15% or more on all stats, which means you just spread out your stats over all 5. And then vitality based builds do get spirit weapons, which basically are weapons that are locked to vitality based builds. Builds are the worst types of builds in the game. They're not really going to be useful until spirit weapons come out, and I do not see them coming out in the near future, so I would stay away from those builds if you can. If you want to go for a second or third build as a vitality based build, I would definitely go for it, but as your main build that you're going to be trying to grind out bosses and do damage on, I would not recommend a vitality based build. Onto the magic based builds, you get Mage, which is full magic, Paladin, which is magic vitality, Warlock, which is magic strength, Conjurer, which is magic weapons, Savant, which is mixed stats as well, that's going to be for all of them. Magic based builds do get rare, lost, and ancient spells, arcanium weapons, magic casting weapons, and lost and ancient magics. Anyway, onto the strength based builds, you get Berserker, which is full strength, Juggernaut, which is strength vitality, Warlock, which is strength magic, Warlord, which is strength weapons, Savant again, and strength based builds do get rare, lost, and ancient techniques, strength weapons like the Lion's Halberd and the Lance of Loyalty, and lost fighting styles. My overview on strength based builds is that they are pretty optimal builds, and if you don't want to follow the meta, I would definitely go for strength or weapon based builds, but again, I would stay away from vitality based builds. Let's go to the weapon based builds. Warrior, which is full weapons, Knight, which is weapons vitality, Conjurer, which is weapons magic, Warlord, which is weapons strength, and then again Savant. And then weapon based builds do get rare, lost, and legendary weapons. I'm gonna go over the best build in every single category in my opinion. So for the vitality based builds, in my opinion, the best build is actually Savant. It's a usable build, it's a runnable build. I would not recommend it right now, but as levels get higher, you'll be able to use more things. For example, on the Sunken Sword, if I go ahead and look at this, for any of the moves, I do need to have at least a weapon level 100. And with Savant right now, if you put 20% into it, it will get less than 100, so you can't lose any of the moves. But when the level cap moves up to around 300, then I feel like Savant will be a very good build that people can actually go ahead and use in the future. For the magic based builds, in my opinion, the best one is either Mage or Conjurer. In my opinion, Mage is the best build in the game, and Conjurer is the third best build in the game. And the reason for this is because it's just so good. Magic is the most overpowered thing in this game because strong scrolls are broken, fair power amulets are broken, arc spheres are broken, all that stuff makes you do so much damage. And if you pair that up with a King Calvus set and a decent sword like the Scimitars of Storm, you will be unstoppable. For the strength based builds, in my opinion, Warlord is the best. Now obviously Warlord is strength weapons, but I won't be saying it for the weapons obviously. But Warlord is the second best build in my opinion. You could do a ton of damage while also having a ton of health at the same time, and the weapons for her are really good. The Lion's Halberd and the Lance of Loyalty, in my opinion, are 2 of the best weapons in the game. Now for the weapon based builds, the Warrior is definitely the best in my opinion. As I've already said, Conjurer and Warlord. Savant, I've already said as well, so it's between Warrior and Knight, and in my opinion Warrior is way better than Knights. Warrior is a very optimal build, in my opinion, a top 7 build in the game. But to answer all of you guys' questions of what build you guys should use in Arcane Odyssey, it's really up to you. I use Conjurer and I have a Warlord build. I'm also trying to run a Warrior build on a different slot. But in my opinion, I would just go for any build that's not a Savant or Knight or any of the vitality builds. But yeah, in my opinion, all the builds in this game are pretty balanced. And when spirit weapons come out, every single build in the game will be viable. But for now, I'd stay away from the vitality based builds and just go, for the main builds in the game. I did mention somewhere along the video that I'll be going over my top 3 best classes in the game, and I'm going to be saying them right now. So for number 1, obviously Mage. It is so broken, especially if you have Magma Magic or Metal, or an OP Magic like that. Number 2, in my opinion, is the Warlord. It's just so good for dealing damage, and the weapons for it are just so good. And then number 3 is the Conjurer, which is what I run. Having the ability to imbue your magic into your weapons is just so broken, especially if you have magic that does bleed or poison damage, like poison, crystal, glass, or anything like that. And in my opinion, those are the best 3 magics in the game. If you want a high damage dealing class, I would recommend going for any of the mage classes or any of the weapon based classes. If you want to chill back and just tank for your teammates, I would recommend going for a vitality based build. And if you just want to do a ton of damage while also having a ton of health, I'd recommend going for Paladin, which is strength, vitality. And if you want to do strength builds, then you will do a ton of damage, but you also got to go over every single fighting style, which some people don't want to do. So if you don't do that much work into your build, then I would definitely recommend going for Conjurer or Mage or something simple like that. But if you're willing to put a lot of work, then Warlord, Warlock, and any of the fighting styles and any of the strength-based builds will be pretty good for you. That is it for this video. I will make a more complicated version going over every single awakening and even having gameplay of them. But for now, this is all I could do. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to drop a like, subscribe. Only a small percentage of my subscribers are actually subscribed, so if you guys could go ahead and drop that sub button, that would be really appreciated. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.